wavy beard.
90s to a T.
Yeah.
I said champagne, I will call it champagne.
Oh, no, we've got so many good episodes to watch.
Oh, wait, I'm getting it. Nope, changed my mind. Boo.
This is funny until you have it.
No, but seriously, wave after wave of men.
That in the future there's an owl problem.
Sorry, but like, his name's Huge Ass.
Not
So
huge.
do you listen to our podcasts?
I'm sorry. Blue whales on the moon.
We carry a harpoon. God damn, I hate that we said that.
Shut up and take my podcast!
Thanks, SpongeBob. Sued. Nickelodeon's gonna sue us.
No, he's worked for Tom Kenny has done voices for Futurama, so it's all right.
Oh no!
Also, you can't copyright a
Copyright
voice.
a voice.
Surely you can copyright a voice.
What if someone naturally has a SpongeBob voice, though?
Yeah, well, they're not doing voice acting.
They're suffering already, right?
Welcome, everybody, to Shut Up and Take My Podcast. That Futurama podcast that is the perfect solution for anyone with a very sexy learning disorder. I am Sean, and I'm joined here by the ever-lovely Phil.
Thank you very much. Hello.
And I'm joined here by the ever-lovely James.
Hello.
I felt special for a second.
We're all ever lovely. It's fine.
Lovely one and lovely two.
Oh, thank you.
Lovely,
Thank you.
lovely.
That's no one will get that.
I just realised that's the most in-joke I've ever done that only myself. James doesn't even know that joke.
Don't worry, audience.
So we're up to season 3, episode 5, The Birdbot of Ice-Catraz. I couldn't remember this to save my life. Do you know what it is?
The Birdman of Alcatraz.
Yeah. Do you know who he is?
Is this someone who tried to escape Alcatraz by making some wings or something?
No, he was an inmate.
Serial killer?
Oh, is it like the stereotypical the guy who looks after the birds?
Yeah,
kind of-
he looked after birds and he was there for his whole life. He's just a really well-known inmate.
Is there a movie about him or something?
There's like a side character in Shawshank Redemption of a guy. Doesn't like the guy love a bird?
Not in the Rock. It's not included in the Rock. You think?
As in the Rock, Michael Bay's
Alcatraz movie. You don't think? You don't think that's a valuable
action
addition?
movie? There's a dude just like looking after a bird.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
We have a new directorial and writing team. So both, not together, just debuting in general. So we got James Purdom of Family Guy fame. The episode you might recall if you're avid Family Guy listeners, watchers, which I know you both are the Quagmire Loretta episode where
They sleep together.
Yes, the Cleveland Loretta Quagmire.
That's
was
pretty
called.
deep in Family Guy.
Yeah. So, he went on to bigger and better things, clearly. Yep. And the writer is Dan Weber.
Weber?
Weber. Weber.
Okay.
Dan Weber.
I feel like you need to say that in a German accent.
Dan Weber.
Dan Weber.
Yeah, so the writer for Family Guy, Dan Weber, and he was the cartoonist for The Onion.
You say you can't do a German accent. What do you do?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Well, it's been 6 years. I've had time to perfect.
You just need to start with a name. You need a persona. That's why.
Sausage. Sausage. You know how one has a word as an in?
Yeah,
I think mine's
sausage.
ja.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah,
Mine is electronic music.
You have not had this electronic
How
music.
is that helping? I mean, it works.
Yeah.
Because my German persona is Gunther. Who's a performance artist who makes electronic music.
Man, if people couldn't distinguish between our voices before, we all did German accents. So I've started this. I have to finish it now. The writer Dan Weber was the cartoonist for The Onion.
The Onion.
And was a writer for Buffy.
For Buffy Vampire.
Sorry, I'm losing
Yeah,
it.
that's good. Just Sweden. Just Sweden? Just Sweden. Yeah.
You went Swedish.
Yeah, just Sweden.
Oh, I've broken the podcast.
Eventually we're going to talk about this episode we watched. But it doesn't matter.
So the air date was March the 4th, 2001. Okay, we've got the reintroduction of the Waterfall family, specifically
Free Waterfall Senior.
Senior, father of hippie man.
Just Free Waterfall?
Yeah,
Is he
Junior,
called,
yeah.
Is he called Junior?
We taught a lion to eat tofu, man.
Yeah, I know who he is. Is he called Junior? Or is he just
Junior.
Yeah, he is cool.
Does that mean we get free Waterfall Senior?
No, so there's Old Man Waterfall, who you see cameo weirdly in the background when he's like, I will avenge you, son. So
is that Old Man Waterfall?
that's Old Man Waterfall. It's not his episode. It's still, because the whole thing is the waterfall member that's introduced and it's about them. They die in that episode.
yeah.
So he wasn't the focus. So
Yeah,
it's all right. The weirdest little joke in the end.
Yeah, it's just like a prospector
Yeah,
turns up
basically.
and shakes his fist.
Like, Senior didn't even say, someone avenge me. He just like, use every part of me. And then he just, old man comes like, I will avenge you.
He's like pushed right to the back of the frame as well.
Yeah.
That is all I have to give for you at the moment.
Yeah, because you don't do little tidbits until they come back for the second time, do you?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
how we keep the audience enticed.
Yes,
Yeah.
come back for more. Please come back for more. Who wants to run down the plot?
Okay, I will try and be very efficient. Okay, let me think about this. The Planet Express group splits. Leela wants to save the penguins. I don't even know what the penguins. Oh my god, I'm fucking it up. Okay, Leela goes to save penguins. Bender becomes a penguin. Fry has his own story where he's a captain finally. Done.
I would love a writer to pitch that.
Yeah.
Leader says... Leader?
Leader.
Leader.
A liter of penguins.
Lola. Yeah, I think that synopsis missed a few key points, is what I think.
I tried to keep very basic.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
basic.
The Planet Express crew have to transport a tanker of
Dark matter.
Rich Colombian dark
Dark
matter.
matter.
They spill it on Pluto, which is a
Planet with
Antarctica
It's a
planet?
penguin
Yeah.
sanctuary, right? Because Bender is anti-drunk because he has a falling out with Fry.
He's sober. He's stinking
Yeah.
sober.
He's stinking sober, and they have to clean it up. But in Bender trying to escape, he gets turned into a penguin, which is what you covered.
Yeah.
The penguins turn hostile.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's too many of them. Dark matter makes them breed at an alarming rate.
Yeah. The males are laying eggs.
Yes.
And
This
does
man
the-
is outgassed.
Does the dark matter also make them smart?
No, I think penguins are just that clever.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Like, because you could say like, Bender kind of trained them, but it's like I feel like if it's making them like rapidly grow, maybe it's doing something to their intelligence that allows them to, you know.
I think that they sort of just imply that penguins
Penguins
are
smart?
just kind of.
Okay.
I kind of look at the metaphor. This is a weird comparison. Did you ever watch The Wild Thornberrys?
Yeah.
Yeah, where all the animals act like... I understood that. Where all the animals act like normal animals, but the second you can talk to them and they can converse with humans, they just gain a little bit more intelligence. I think it's because they've got someone that can finally contextually give them a conversation. I don't know. I'm trying to justify smart killer penguins here.
Smashing.
But either they're smart enough already, or the dark matter gives them a boost. It's very possible.
I mean, they do have a theory, which is we're about to be killed. Stand still. That's our best hope.
Yes. They're not amazingly clever. I like this episode. I find it quite funny.
It's a pretty
in lot
funny
of places.
episode.
Yeah.
I find the side story with Fry kind of pointless. To be
I mean, I
honest.
do like the fact that they just cut to it and he's gone.
Yeah.
He's just missing because they don't really need him for the main.
No.
They don't need
Plot?
a lot of people. There is not a single shot of Hermes or Amy in this episode.
No,
They're not
no.
even seen in the background. It felt kind of empty in a few bits.
Yeah, okay. I didn't kind of feel that, but you having pointed out makes me miss them now.
I miss Hermes all the time.
Just in your day-to-day life, you're just like, I wish he was a real
Wish there was a
person.
Hermes.
we do get lots of Zoidberg though. He's great as a
Not
new
really.
crew
I
member.
mean, yeah, he has a lot of moments,
He's
but he
in
doesn't get foregrounded ever.
I'm
No, he's
constantly
just- he's
reminded
there
that
for comic
Zoidberg's
relief.
on a different planet to everyone else. It's just
Yeah.
he just has this. It's weird. You know what I realized about Zoidberg is he has while Bender, Leela, and Fry kind of have similar objectives that they're working towards in every episode. Zoidberg's changes completely episode to episode. Yeah. Like he has a different.
He always
life
wants to eat,
mission.
right?
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, you could probably tie it down to he wants people to like him, but it's always like, no, this episode I'm just going to follow whoever's the captain to the ends of the earth.
I'd follow him to hell and back. I would.
He's loyal to a fault in this episode,
Yeah.
isn't he?
There's a deleted scene.
table, what an honor.
There's a deleted scene in this episode that they kept out, which is a good insight into the psyche of Zoidberg, where he says the words, "I love people having power over me."
It's a little too
and then he shivers with
Little too on the-
delight.
It's a little too on the nose.
So
That's too
Zoidberg
much.
loves being berated. Like, he loves it. The fact that everyone hates him.
Poor guy.
No, he wants it. Give
He
it to
just
him.
wants to be ordered around.
yeah.
Like, he wants direction.
This gives credence to the what if machine was talking about all this time.
Yes.
It preempted the thing longer.
Because he was like,
It did.
"What? That would have been that's what life would have been if I invented the thing longer."
And then he
Yes.
And
invented
he
it.
did.
And presumably they then did that for real then?
Yes, yeah.
They
yeah.
then stood around the what if machine and watched those.
They must.
They must have.
So realistically, what Fox should have done is air that episode, Tales of Interest, and cut out the ending where he didn't. He's like, that's what it would have been
What
like.
if?
So it's like, this happened. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So show the episode again.
Just show it again without the ending, right?
Without the ending, yeah.
That's a way to recycle.
Yeah, because
recycle your
and
animation.
this time you're like, it happened.
Yeah, actually, this is
Yeah.
it happening for real, and
Yeah,
not
for
in the
real.
what if
Yeah,
machine.
yeah.
The other deleted scene we got was they added in an episode of The Scary Door.
Oh, I would like to see.
And they took it out. They end up putting it in a season 4 episode, but it's the one where he's like, I will put all these animals or things together to create the most evil species imaginable. Turns out it was man.
Guess it's thematically linked because we just screw everything up.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this: is that humans will try to conserve and make things good, and they just end up screwing it up all the time. All the time. Just
weird.
fair enough. I think that's true.
Kind of unlike Poplars, I was much more aware there's a bit more of a heavy-handed attempt to put in that environmental message, and maybe it's because it felt Leela was driving it more, so maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I was just much more aware that this was an episode that was being pushed towards getting an environmental award. Like, for example, Poplars either nominated or won the Environmental Media Award.
Do you think they were like, oh, this is popular amongst the audience, let's make another plot that's about cute creatures?
Yeah, well, they won the award last year. So the story is that they'd aired this episode, and when the Environmental Media Awards came up next year, the awards company messaged them saying, "Hey, our submissions are coming up."
Do you have an environmental episode?
Oh my God.
What they said specifically was, maybe you should put that one in.
Right, okay.
So you've got an award ceremony being like, maybe you should put that episode in. Wink, wink. So they did. They weren't even nominated.
Yeah. I don't think it has that strong an environmental message. They just coat them with oil, and then Bender doesn't really clean them properly, and
Yeah,
then
but
they go breed out of control, and they don't really solve that problem.
Yeah.
Like, nothing gets solved.
Then there's going to be civil war between the penguins.
Yeah. The story is like, doing nothing is probably better.
Because if
than
you do
even
something, you'll
trying.
fuck it up.
Yeah. Even trying is worse because
and
we
even
don't
if-
know how to do it.
And even environmentalists want an excuse to shoot
Yeah,
things
yeah.
if it lines up with conservation
Yeah,
goals. So I can see where it doesn't really paint
No.
anybody in the conservation movement in
So
a
we're
good light.
killing to save them.
Yeah, and they're really pleased about it.
The media does work well in changing my opinion of the tragedy, because those sound effects on the penguin is one of the jokes that I remember from 10 years ago. It's where it says, it's got all the penguins falling over, and it says sound effects added to lessen the tragedy.
Oh, yeah.
I find that hilarious still. It's the best.
And they do it when Leela falls over as well.
Boom.
Controversial. Oh my no.
Oh my God.
We can also add in, it's not a chest usage, but there is another usage for Bender.
He has a blender.
of
He has a
Bender.
blender in his
Yeah.
mouth. Yeah.
Which has the best reaction shot out of anyone. So not even Leela, but there's a bit where the first time he uses the blender, where he looks at another penguin and sees that there's the vomiting happening.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I'll do it as well. So as he puts the fish in his mouth, all the penguins turn and just look at him like, what the fuck?
Oh, really?
He's got like 20 penguins going, oh.
I didn't even notice that. That's great.
It's really
The
creepy.
penguins have a lot of good little looks in this.
Oh, the penguins,
Penguins are really well
adorable.
characterized.
Yeah.
The final shot with them holding guns, they look really menacing.
Menacing but adorable. And also apparently the Puffin twins are some awful people.
Oh yeah, you stay away from those Puffin twins.
Maybe,
And also,
maybe they're the twins.
and also when they
That's Puffin talk.
yeah, when they say they're going to stay silly, that's Puffin talk. Follow me.
What's wrong with the Puffin?
I don't know. They get dumped on a lot.
The writers just hate the Puffin
Hate
books.
Puffins. Yeah.
When I was a kid and I saw that ending, I was never like, for some reason in my mind, I was like, okay, I couldn't decide what they were doing, whether they were like teaming up or whether they were like going to shoot each other.
I read it as shooting each other because it's like a lot of head level and there's like pretty intense stare down going on.
I read it the other way. I read it as they both gearing up and they're like,
Yeah, like when I was a kid, I was more leaning to they're about to shoot each other because they're kind of staring each other down. But when I watched it just then, I was like, they're more like in the same tune with each other. Like they're gearing up together.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of joining together.
Maybe we'll come back in a later episode and we'll see whether the penguins are dead or if they're revolting against humanity.
If they don't come back, that means they're dead.
Right, good. Okay, hopefully they don't come back.
Yeah.
I don't know if, because they're either implying that they have a
they have
war
weapons,
and that will sort out their own population
Yeah.
problem. But I always thought of it as they were like, that action movie stars. They're like,
Yeah,
and they're just
it looks
like ready.
it.
They're
Yeah,
both ready.
yeah.
I never read it as animosity between them. So
Yeah.
that's interesting
Yeah.
to hear it. That's what you guys.
Yeah, 'cause
that's what you saw.
that's what I thought when I was a kid. Now watching it again, I'm like, that's
Guess it's open for interpretation in a way. I hate open-ended endings.
we get a bit of Titanic this episode with the tanker.
All 6,000 holes have been
6,000
breached.
holes.
They should have made it with 6,001. I quite like Farnsworth's bits in this episode. It's front loaded. He's only there at the beginning, but as I quoted non sequiturely a minute ago, he says, "This controversial mission." So it says controversial? Oh my no.
This controversial mission.
And then about to give the captaincy to
It's like, should I say Captain Fry?
No, I shouldn't say
no,
that.
that's not right at all. That's like one of the best moments of this episode.
That's right.
He gets shut down so hard.
Being a captain is about having heart and intuition. A captain should have neither.
It's kind of weird. This episode, it goes a lot of places. I feel like you could have had a whole episode where it's like it's Captain Bender and trying to deal with like Wiggles not having a fun time. He's not Fry, he's Wiggles this episode in this review.
Sorry, go.
And Wiggles kind of coping with that. Like that's an episode, but then like you kind of cut that out, and then it's like Bender's becoming a penguin, and like Fry goes off by himself, and Leela's trying to save the environment. It feels like I'm seeing a lot of things, and they're all trying to tie together.
I like how it pulls along though. I actually think that works in its favour. Yeah,
but doesn't feel as streamlined.
Also, I don't know why Fry is so upset about having a nickname. I would have killed for a nickname.
Do you want to be
when I
about
was a kid.
Wiggles though?
Wiggles, I'd take Wiggles. Because no one ever shortened my name. Because you can't shorten Sean. You lengthen it.
just
Like Shawnee. Or Sean.
Yeah.
It just sounds like...
Shauno.
Like we used to... Like, when you call someone by their last name or you... But like...
S-Man?
S-Man?
S-Man.
No one ever did
S-Dogger.
S-Man. S-Dogger.
I'm going to call you S-Man from now on.
S-Man.
S-Man.
I'm the S-Man.
Yeah. Or San? Sin?
San?
Sen?
See, now it just feels like you're pitying me.
I gotta call you the Ness, do it backwards.
The Ness?
The Ness?
The Ness man?
Yeah, Ness
the
man.
SNES?
The SNES.
The SNES.
Yeah, the SNES.
Yeah, I just really would have, you can call me Wiggles. I'm
I'm gonna call you Wiggles from now
Wiggles.
on. And we'll see how long that lasts, because it's not a great nickname.
Wiggles. I mean, I get that. When I was younger, I probably would have enjoyed Wiggles as a nickname.
Hey, Wiggles, how you doing?
Hey, Wiggles.
Hey, Wiggles, how you doing, man?
I think it's more that Bender, because it's the long-running thing about their friendship, is Fry's less upset about the specific nickname and more upset that Bender is more... He says it specifically. He's more interested in being a captain than being his friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That reflects back, because as soon as he upsets Fry, he gets upset himself.
Yeah.
Which is great. I love that interplay between them. And whenever they show that actually Bender really does need Fry, it deepens that relationship. It's not just Fry being needy and lonely. Bender needs Fry too, and I think that's a great piece of characterization that makes you like Bender that little bit more.
Yeah.
Because if Bender was just a narcissist and never needed anybody, it might sour to him eventually. But the fact that he gets really anti-drunk, gets really sober because Fry is upset with him.
Kind of what separates Bender from Zap, but because you don't see Zap as much, it's kind of great.
He's also not as stupid as Zap.
Well, that's it.
But the problem is, you get that, and it's kind of like, oh, he's gone sober, and he has to do community service now. He's
5 hours
He calls
of it.
the outscore, then becomes a penguin. Fry's basically completely removed. It's
yeah.
like that.
When Fry's being attacked by a space
when you cut to that shot is when I realized, oh wow, he's not even a part of the plot. Really,
yeah, it's like
it's an excuse to get rid of him.
if you want to go it's good that they kind of had that. Like it could have been like a Fry or Wiggles Bender Captain Bender relationship.
How much better does that sound saying that? A Wiggles Bender story.
Wiggles and Captain Bender relationship kind of episode. But then it's like as soon as Fry leaves, that's it. it's not like Bender's trying to make up for it or like, and they go on some like kind of ship adventure. It's just literally, I'm going
to be a penguin now.
And then Fry's just being attacked by a giant space squid.
It's kind of funny.
It's a bit disconnected.
Yeah, it feels a bit disconnected.
It's almost the first Leela Bender story, but they're not even really connected in their stories. It's Leela has her environmental story and Bender has his I'ma be a penguin story.
And Leela's like, I have to look after you. Oh, you've gone.
Okay.
I guess I should find you.
Yeah, he just shows up at the end, and that's the other reason they get rid of him. I think so he can just like
come and
turn
save
up
the
when he's
day.
needed. Yeah.
I like the visual of figuring out how Zoidberg plays video games with his claws. Like, wouldn't he just break the controller in half?
Yeah. There's also a bit where he's down on the floor eating the drop plate of food, just the top part of his claws hanging onto the top of the table. It's a really nice kind of visual of him, his head popping over.
So here's my question. Has Bender gotten better at cooking, or was someone else cooking on that ship? I
It's
don't
like
think
ravioli, isn't it?
I feel like Fry cooked because Captain Bender doesn't cook.
Oh, that's
He's
what I'm
Captain
thinking.
Bender.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if Bender had have cooked, it would have just been.
Surely it's just some
Schlop.
futuristic food that comes out of a packet and looks like that, right?
Maybe.
Because
It's-
Bender, I think Fry, I feel like that happens quite a lot. Is that I swear there's an episode where they just put something in the microwave and it makes an entire meal.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
And it's Back to the Future, but
Yeah.
probably this.
Oh, is that a Back to the Future thing as well?
mixing our
Yes.
sci-fi franchises.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of food, there's that moment at the beginning where they make a joke about packaging, and he has like an Oreo that he has to assemble
Just to tear
using
it
a
apart.
machine.
I cringed at the waste of space on that. The mound of black Oreo bits, or for copyright purposes,
Nondescript biscuit.
nondescript biscuit.
Dark choco, non-brand biscuit.
But look at it going, I like the black
Yeah.
bits. I would happily devour just those chocolate.
Where's Zoidberg to eat those chocolate?
Maybe he hates chocolate.
No.
I think he's just waiting
Yeah.
until Fred turns
leaves.
his back and that pile is
No,
gone.
it's my turn.
That is a thing that annoys me about the modern world as well, that things come in so much packaging.
Yeah.
Like, things come in a box, but that box is also in like a cellophane wrap, and then that thing is also in a box, and then inside the box, things are individually packaged, and I just get freaking furious.
And
Yeah,
kids
it's a little
are
waste.
kids that are now kids now. In comparison to when we were kids.
We are born to podcast,
Yeah.
really.
So what I'm trying to say here
Kids today.
is kids today
Kids today.
don't know how bad they have it in terms of the packaging to content ratio. Do you remember
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
like when we would just get chips or even Pringles and things like that? It would be filled up. I don't think I'm imagining it. I swear we got more product in comparison to like our. chip
I
packaging.
don't feel like Pringles have changed. How
No,
you wouldn't get away
Pringles-
with that?
Pringles have
shrunk.
They've shrunk
their
the tube.
box.
Yeah.
But just chip packets in general, I feel like they were
any
pumped
like
more air in them.
any like small bit of food or chocolate, they've shrunken the sizes. It would go down from like 200 grams to 170 or that kind of thing.
It's
So,
like a stealth reduction.
yeah, stuff.
But it's just, I think, I open it going, it's such a waste of packaging. It's like
Apparently,
half of a...
they defend that with chips is that they need to do that to keep them fresh because they pump with gas, and also if there wasn't enough air, they go crush and blah blah blah. So I don't know. Maybe
Alternatively, chip packets in cardboard boxes stacked perfectly. Basically, everyone adapt the Pringles method and give me more chips.
just like I'll bring a bag, and you just shovel the chips into the bag.
Can we
and
do
I'll
it
tie up.
like one of those, like you go to the movies and you pour a Coke?
Yeah,
you bring your bag and the chips just
fall into it? Yeah, or like feed your.
Or
own
I love
nuts
the
or whatever.
popcorn method. That's almost like a shelf
that
type
work.
deal, and you just bring
I'd
it
be
in
cool for that.
Man, we're really hungry, aren't we?
I'm really
it's
hungry,
right before
yes, I
lunch.
am.
Can you tell? I like the running theme of low tech back in this with the how they haul the tanker. So they're hauling it. It's just like a tow bar, and it's so tiny compared to the rest of the ship, and they just go. Clunk.
It works so well though. The whole thing was upside down on the planet, basically.
Yes.
defying gravity.
Yeah, just like rocketing along.
Yeah.
And the ship spell as well. Just that he has an old timey ship spell the whole time. So it's on the captain's table.
And just the amount of times you think about sci-fi or just or spaceships in general, and you think, why don't they use that third dimension?
Yes, that is a really good joke.
Why? And it's just like, oh yeah, when you made this peace ring, didn't you realize ships could move in 3 dimensions? No, I did not.
And that's it. The ship just moves up about 3 inches and flies off, which is the same point I made in Parasites Lost, where it's like there's like a massive traffic jam highway.
Yeah.
It's like you can go in any direction, guys.
This is the thing you can do. What are the things we think don't work?
There's a lot of great humor in this episode.
Yeah.
But it's the whole disconnect where it's like Fry's gone off to do his own thing and they kind of left on a bad term, and Bender's not really trying to make it up because he's busy being a penguin and Fry's busy being attacked by a space squid and being loved by Zoidberg, and they're so far apart.
Yeah.
And they come back at the end, but they had nothing.
At least they don't dwell too long on Fry. It's just like cut away.
Well, they've got
squid.
They've got
back.
nothing to do with him, so it's like they just have him there to be like, he'll come back later.
Just
It's
remember
okay.
he's away doing something.
He's away doing something stupid.
And for me, the episode just felt a little bit light. I love when Futurama packs in a lot to an episode and it doesn't feel overwhelming. Because they can do that. Luck of the Fryish does it quite well. There's 2 coinciding storylines and there's a lot going on with differing characters. They're balancing everyone. And maybe I'm just looking at it from the past episode, but this just feels kind of very light, and I am missing a lot of the main characters that aren't even there.
Yeah, I think the satire misses the mark a little bit. I don't really agree with the idea that conservationists all carry guns and are just looking for an excuse to cull animals. It's just like that's not a thing. That's not funny because it's not a witty observation of real life.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like they're trying to be like more deep than that. They're like deep down, even though that we want to try and help, we're all killers.
We're all killers inside.
Which we are. So fair play to them. Maybe this is why they didn't get the award this time. They like put in that episode.
Stop pointing out the truth. Don't remind us that we're animals and we love killing.
That's why everyone hates War of the Planet of the Apes. How dare you say that humans are the problem?
Humans are the real villain all along. I mean, it has good, funny moments all the way through, like using Leela as a toboggan.
The visual gags where I
great.
thought it was strongest. Bender vomiting for slightly too long in front of Leela.
Yes.
It's just like just enough for her to get uncomfortable.
A penguin bites
His shiny metal ass.
metal ass.
Yes,
Which
quite
I just went, yes! Comic visual humor. But there's not that core to hang it off. The story itself is a clever joke.
Yes.
I don't think the story itself is clever enough.
And also, it was like with poplars. I guess we can go back to that. Leela basically begins like they find these poplars, they find this food source, they're using it, they're loving it, and then she finds out it's bad. And there's that journey like of like trying to redeem herself from what she's done wrong. With this, it's like you're wasting food. Oh, we're moving an oil tanker? No, that's it. Like,
and Leela and a lot of these characters struggle with, I know it's bad, but in Poplars, like, I know it's bad, but I really want this thing, and there's a struggle. They do well with Leela. I think it's really important that she did fire the gun. That she did. It took every ounce of her being, and there's a tear rolling down her eye.
Yeah.
The second she does it, she laments it instantly. That's a nice little character thing, but it's where they got up to it. It's her character before that. And also because your main storyline doesn't really have... The thing I think as well is that the main storyline, which is where on the planet Pluto, usually you should at least have 2 of the main characters together in some way or working off each other or against one another.
They're separated, don't they? Yeah.
They're separated, and even when they're apart, they don't really have a important or memorable side character to bounce off of. It's more so just them with themselves.
yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think Free Waterfall Senior, apart from a couple of funny lines, is that interesting a foil for Leela. So you
because he's on her side up until the very end where she's conflicted.
Yeah, as soon as
and
it's
he's
like
sort of
we
a
have to
one-note
cull them, then it's
character.
like,
Yeah, so you end up with Bender and Leela are together for a moment, but then Bender goes missing straight away, and then she says, "Fry, come help," and then he goes off somewhere else. So you're right; no one's ever together really, apart from maybe the 3 of them on the ship on the way to Pluto. But they keep fragmenting the characters.
Yeah.
And part of the joy of Futurama is the dynamics. And we always talk about the team ups that we want. We need a Zoidberg Bender episode or a this one episode, an Amy and whoever episode. None of those combinations come near to happening in this.
Leela and Bender are polar opposites.
Yeah.
Polar Pluto.
sorry.
But they really are. They're diametrically opposing one another at all times.
Yes, which is interesting if you directly contrast them, but if you just have Bender be a penguin, fine. of the time it doesn't.
Which
you
is
miss that
adorable,
opportunity.
but still.
He is an adorable penguin. I really like that montage as well, where he does penguin things, where he
Clogs up the slide.
clogs up the slide and pukes and whatever else he does that's penguin related.
Kills some eggs.
He
Kills some
kills
babies.
some eggs, and then he swims and catches all the
Fish
on his antenna, which is cute as well.
Good way to cull all the penguins would have been if you kept Fry and Zoidberg on the planet, and it's like, okay, Zoidberg, we have to get rid of these penguins.
He would have eaten all
He
the
would have
eggs.
eaten so many penguins.
You ate most of them.
Yeah.
Or release the nibbler.
Yeah.
Yes,
Release
just bring Nibbler.
Yeah.
Just bring Nibbler.
Should we nail this down to a vote?
Yeah, let's vote on it.
Luck of the Fryrish.
Did that beat out
Oh,
Parasite
yeah.
Sauce?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Luck of the Fryrish against the ice...
The Birdbot
Birdbot
of
of
Ice-Catraz.
Ice-Catraz.
Yeah,
I'll
well,
never remember
No contest.
Yeah, it's not a real contest.
No
No,
contest.
no.
Luck of the Fryrish is an absolute classic with, as we said, some really clever use of flashbacks to inform character and inform plot.
Like, just story structure, overall
Yeah.
heart and message, and like...
Fryrish made me
funny.
cry.
Yes.
I cried.
yeah,
It's emotional, but funny as well.
Yeah, it does
you
not
know?
sacrifice the humor just
Yeah.
to be emotional. This is a gag-centric episode where the main plot doesn't hold water.
Or
It's
it
frozen.
doesn't hold dark matter.
Yes. Yes. I knew there was a
Yeah, there
a
was
funny
something there.
reference in there somewhere.
No,
That's my take. That's
yeah.
my take.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat.
Tanker.
I'm on the same
tanker.
tanker.
Every pun we can put into here is where it's
The
heading.
worst puns as well. Yeah, like this one just feels a bit empty for me. There's still a lot of great gags, but everyone just feels so disconnected when you really look at it.
Yeah.
it's
Do you not
just,
realise about these sections? We just do not disagree enough where we have to have a debate about which episode we think is better.
We did earlier.
Earlier in the seasons, yeah.
Myself, Chris, and James disagreed a bit. I mean, I think I disliked this episode more than you guys, but especially it's going to be hard now because a lot of these episodes are just superior.
Yeah, this is the good bit of Futurama.
Hopefully
it's all
they'll-
good. That's why we watch it.
You
but-
wait. The second we get, I have a feeling that if Roswell That Ends Well is top and it goes up against Jurassic Park, that's when you'll see the disagreement.
Yeah, there'll be a lively debate there.
Yes.
I look forward
that'd
to
be
it.
hard.
Look forward
Yeah,
to it.
just like finding the right episode to go up against the right episode is very hard.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet though, right? So
And then if an episode isn't great, usually we can all kind of see that it's not fantastic, rather than be like, no, it's absolutely fantastic.
I guess it does tell you that the quality does vary quite a bit, but I think that's to be expected in an episodic show of this nature. It's the same with The Simpsons. The Simpsons not a bad show, but some episodes are vastly superior to others and will be remembered for ages, and other episodes are like, I don't remember that one. What happens in that one?
And it ends, and then you get Zombie Simpsons, so they're two different shows.
Yeah, of course. Did you agree? Did we?
Oh, no, definitely.
talk over
As
you?
I said, look, if Fryrish made me cry, you're really
and
not going to
this-
get away
and
from
this
that.
you didn't like this
I
episode,
just didn't really like this episode that much. And the times that we've seen Zoidberg less, they've utilized him better. And I feel like Zoidberg was used strangely in this episode. Not quite as memorable.
Just gags.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they're using him so much because they know they don't have enough.
Yeah, that's it.
In the story, they're like, shit, we need gags now.
We need
Fuck.
Zoidberg being embarrassing.
Yeah, no, it's not even a contest.
Yeah.
Fryrish has my tears, my heart, and my vote. Okay. For a voice, I think we should do some good old-fashioned penguin talk.
I thought we were going to do Waterfall Senior, but that's good.
Or Bender doing a penguin, isn't it?
I feel like we're doing an impersonation of Mars Attacks.
It's at this point where I go, people are listening to this.
Yes. Yeah.
I hear someone do a penguin noise. But that's Frank Welker's career, isn't it? Oh, what am I doing this week? You're doing another sound or an animal. What am I doing this week? We want 3 buffaloes charging against a lizard.
It's like at the same time? Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Okay.
He would do it. He'd be able to.
I mean, we could have just recorded this whole episode in Penguin Speak. Just half an hour of us going...
Yeah, for the penguin audience.
And leave like a transcript of the English.
I'm not doing the transcripts.
Look, I'm editing this episode so you guys can.
I was kind of looking forward to doing... If rubbing frozen dirt into your crotch is wrong... Well, I don't want to be right.
Well, we can do that as well because we don't get to see this man again. So
Yeah.
put your hands
To
between your
protect
butt
against
cheeks.
frostbite, put your hands between your butt cheeks.
It's nature's pocket.
He just loves putting his hands in places.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't,
This man is overgassed.
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe like. maybe environmentalists got sick of the fact that they're like, oh, we get another environmental story, and we get another weirdo
with like a really scraggly facial
yeah,
hair.
who's like, it's like nature's pocket, just putting his hands in places he shouldn't. Like,
Yeah, he's totally creepy.
Yeah, watch that he doesn't pick your pocket. So if you guys want to join us next week, we will have the episode Bendless Love.
Bendless Love, yeah. And we'd love to have you back. Please come back.
Please do come back. Bendless Love, that's the return of Flexo, is it not?
Yes, it's the Love Triangle episode.
Or if my theory holds up, it's the return of Bender.
That he's been replaced. Yeah.
That deleted scene I am counting as canon.
Okay.
I'm
This
not.
is Flexo.
Because it's deleted.
So I want to see if there's a point where I can say that's where the switch back happens.
Switch back. Yeah. Switcheroo.
So that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Like it's old man Waterfall, right?
Yes.
Old man Waterfall, is he the man? Okay, in the episode where Zoidberg's race takes over the planet,
That's Old Man Waterfall.
and he's like waving a flag, and he's like,
Yep, you've preempted his death. Yep, that's how he dies.
yeah, and he gets crushed to death.
So we don't see that man until then, which is in season 4, I'm pretty sure.
Quite a while away.
Yeah, don't mess with her.
It's a little in-joke for fans, I guess, following along
Yeah.
that long-term reference.
There are more Waterfall members as well. Like into the later seasons, I know they
Okay.
keep
Just keep
going
bringing
into
them
different
back.
generations.
Oh my
It's- Like it just keeps going. So guys, if you want to get in touch with us, you can head to your internet email service, whether it's Hotmail and Gmail, and you can pen or write an email towards us at babybeardmedia@gmail.com.
You can log on to the interwebs and point your browser towards Instagram or Twitter and type in that's the symbol at. It's like a little A with a circle around it. Baby Beard Media.
Screw looking on an internet server. Just go on your app on Facebook.
Tell us about these apps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these apps. They're pretty new. That's APP.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Apps.
Short for application, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
okay, yeah.
maybe Apple. I don't know.
possibly. Yeah, could be. Trademark.
Apples. Go on Facebook, Baby Beard Media. Send us anything. You
yeah,
can
talk to
message
us. Talk to us, please.
comment.
We'd love to talk to our fans. It'd be
Comment.
great.
Disagree with us more.
Yeah, please
Yes, do something. Yeah.
do. Something. Do something.
Yeah.
For God's sake. Argue with someone on the internet.
Interact. Yeah. If you're not arguing on the internet, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Ted, if you're listening, a while back you said that you played the fiddle, I believe, and you were thinking about doing that little rendition.
We'd love to hear that.
Please do. We'd love to
We
hear
will
that.
air it. We'll air it. If you play, we'll air it on the next episode
We'll
for
play
sure.
it. So Ted, please Ted,
If you're listening,
if someone knows Ted
or any
a
Ted.
Anyone who plays the fiddle, just
Yeah,
fiddle for
a
us.
Ted that plays the fiddle, please let him know.
Yeah.
And go back to what I reckon was Hell is Other Robots, and that's probably where the reference is, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and play us a little fiddle song.
Yeah. Fiddle with us.
Fiddle
Fiddle
with
with-
Baby Beard.
Y'all.
Und until then, I have been Sean.
I've been Gunter. I mean Philip.
And yeah, I can't. How do you say James in German?
Und
James?
I have been James.
I have been James. I can't say
James.
James. James.
It's like James, but just you cut it off at the end. James.
James.
I don't know. Just say your name.
I've been James. I'll see you next time.
Guten Abend.
Guten Abend. Bye. Bye.
Guten. Is that goodbye?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf
Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye. Just bye. Thank you, Frankie.
I may actually.
Oh, can you smell that?
No, my nose is blocked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You can smell that?
Yeah.
That is, whoa. That is some good cat poo.
I was in the laundry and I couldn't smell it.
Oh, wow. That's nuts.
Oh, there it is. It made its way.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's any better. No, stop. Oh, everything's going to smell of poo and links.
Yeah, make a podcast called Peking Duck.
Peking duck.
Hey everybody! Welcome to Peking Duck! And everything's just like terrible audio.
I want to have a chat to you about constriction.
We run welcome to
don't.
Peking
Stop
Duck.
doing it.
We sell we like
Stop shouting like that.
It's a store.
It's not that you're yelling. It's so there's a
Both of us are
my
like,
body language. You're not only doing constriction, but your throat was
forcing air.
fighting a grin. So it ended up like,
Hey everybody!
Oh, stop doing it,
I'm
please.
peeking.
Oh, God, stop doing it. It's really bad for you.
like it's actually really it's awful.
I can
for
feel
your voice.
pain in my throat. From Chasers, we're selling everything.
Stop doing it, please. You're hurting us.
Okay.
On the bright side is we'll be able to differentiate between our voices because James will just
James
be
won't have one.
like a smoker.
I really like the episode.
That crossed just over an hour.
Shit me, we are not tight in our recording.